Champion School Back to School webinar. We're glad you could join us today. This webinar will be the first of a series of webinars hosted throughout the year to help schools stay informed about programming and opportunities throughout the year. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to your Unified Champion School staff. My name is Megan Hill. I'm the UCS Leadership Coordinator. Some of you may have known me in my other capacity, but right now my role is to help with leadership programming. So that's the youth activation committees, unified clubs, the education leadership network, our youth days events, things like that. I've been with the organization for 6 years, and unfortunately, I have just resigned. So my last day is actually next Friday. So use me and abuse me while you can, but hopefully there'll be a fresh face for all of you here in the coming month or so. So I'd like to introduce you to Mandy Schumacher, and she can tell you a little bit about who she is and what she's doing for you.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, everyone. As Megan said, my name is Mandy Schumacher. So I started working with Special Olympics when I was in Washington State, and I have been with Special Olympics Montana here for about a little over a year and a half now. And I will be primarily focusing on the inclusive sports components with Unified Champion Schools here in Montana in regards to young athletes, the MHSA, so the Interscholastic Unified Track partnership that we have, Unified Fitness, and all that good stuff that we'll kind of be diving into more today. So yeah.
Great. Thanks, Mandy.
Yep.
So at the heart of everything we do is the Special Olympics mission. And I would be remiss if I didn't recite the mission to all of you at the beginning of this webinar. So our mission is to provide year-round sports training and athletic competition in a variety of Olympic-type sports for children and adults with intellectual disabilities, giving them continuing opportunities to develop physical fitness, demonstrate courage, experience joy, and participate in a sharing of gifts, skills, and friendship with their families, other Special Olympics athletes, and the community. Oops, sorry, Mandy. The Unified Champion Schools program is a crucial component of the larger Special Olympics vision. To create a more inclusive world, we need to start with our youth so that when they grow up, our world will be more welcoming to those who are different than ourselves. Mandy, do you want to say anything else?
No, I think that's great. I think as we go through this back to school webinar, we're just going to kind of be, all of our programming is going to kind of come back to Special Olympics vision and the mission of what Special Olympics is. So I think we just keep plugging through and we'll talk about our programming for this year.
Great, Mandy, sorry I missed you.
Oh, you're fine.
So we want to talk about positive school climate and social inclusion. And successfully meeting the needs of all students hinges largely on the climate of the school, which affects every aspect of the student's school experience, from their social and emotional well-being to the overall quality of their educational experience. Unified Champion Schools embody the essence of a positive school climate by offering programs where diversity is valued, equity is demanded, and every student is a contributing member. And we do this or achieve this by offering programs to students following the 3 core components, which are whole school engagement, inclusive sports, and inclusive youth leadership. Research has shown that if a school engages in all 3 core components, their school climate changes for the better and they become more inclusive as a whole. I want to want to take just a moment on behalf of Special Olympics Montana to thank you for your amazing work over the past several years to make more schools more inclusive. Last year, we increased participation across the state through dedication and hard work from teachers and administrators like yourselves. And we'd also want to make sure that we extend gratitude to the students who make everything possible. Students are truly our focus, and they do an amazing job at supporting programming at their schools. In year 10, we had 86 schools. In year 11, we had 90. And when I say year 11, that means last year. And the greatest growth that we saw from one year over the next was in the number of athletes and unified partners. And again, that's thanks to all of you. So every year, Unified Champion School Liaisons are asked to complete a survey, and SOMT is required to submit data to Special Olympics North America. The data and feedback provided helps SONA, Special Olympics North America, secure funding from the Department of Education and provide Special Olympics Montana with an annual report. Then your comments are read and used as a guide to improve programming in the following year. So in year 10, we haven't received our year 11 report just yet. Teachers and students indicated that they would like new avenues for engagement with SOMT and tools to help better implement programs. With that, we're excited to offer you a few new programs and new opportunities for engagement in the next year.
Okay, so we're going to get kind of talking about what's new for this academic school year for 2019-2020. And we'll kind of dive into this a little bit more as we're going through our slides, but just to name a few of them, we're going to talk about Unified Fitness, Unified PE, State YAC, and our Spread the Word for Inclusion. So we want to name a few of these because our goal is to help you guys find the programs and activities that best suit the needs and dreams of your school, like what you want to be doing with Unified Champion Schools programming. We have created and just updated our website that will provide you with all the information and updates that you need regarding Unified Champion Schools. So after this webinar, Megan will go ahead and guide us through that webpage a little bit to kind of show you where all the information is going to be regarding these programs. Okay, so our first component that we're going to talk about is inclusive sports. And as you see, we are going to be focusing on Unified Fitness. So Unified Fitness, with the impact work of Unified Champion Schools, fitness locates its role as an entry point or enhancement to the three-component model that we have. And through a unique combination of initially planned and implemented activities, fitness as a part of the Unified Champion Schools program, it really has the capacity to promote social inclusion and lifelong healthy behaviors within the student body and broader school community. So this is a fairly new program for Special Olympics and here in Montana. We had some pilot programs last year, or pilot schools last year who did this. And we're really hoping to build on that and bring on 5 new schools this year that will participate in Unified Fitness. The really cool part about Unified Fitness is that we have different models that schools can choose from, already done, already developed. So schools do not have to redevelop this program. It's really easy to implement into your school. So if you are interested or have any questions about that, please reach out to us and we can get your school going with that. The next one is going to be Unified PE. Again, we had a couple schools do a pilot program of this last year. And really it is unified physical education. So it's a unique opportunity for students of varying ability levels and backgrounds to come together on equal terms through ongoing fitness, sports, and leadership and wellness activities. And this course really focuses on the physical, intellectual, and social growth of all participants and engaging them in physical activity and sport alongside peers with and without intellectual disabilities. It really helps to foster important social relationships. So we also want to acknowledge that Special Olympics has a partnership with Shape America, And we really are hoping to develop out our unified PE and unified fitness programs that can coincide with the Shape America partnership that we have. So again, if you are interested in either one of these, please reach out to us, and we'd love to get you more connected. And then we'll move on to Interscholastic Unified Track. So that's the MHSA partnership that we have. If your school did participate last year, if you heard about that, we showcase 2 unified events at the state high school meet. So this will be our 3rd year offering unified track, and we'll be offering the 2 unified events this year will be the 100-meter dash, which will be unified, and you will need 1 partner and 1 athlete minimum from your school to participate in that. And then the second event will be the 4x100 meter relay, unified relay, and that will require 2 partners and 2 athletes minimum to participate. The basic criteria is going to be that it all needs to be the same gender in regards to the relay, unified relay. But fun fact, if you haven't known this, is that we are able to combine local schools together if you do not have enough athletes to make a unified relay team. And that's really great because that was the case for some of our schools last year, and they were not able to participate because of that. So if you are thinking that might be a concern of yours, if there are other local high schools next to you that are unified champion schools or will become unified champion schools, you can partner up together to make that relay team so your schools can participate. I, Mandy Schumacher, will be working with the unified track. So if you are interested in that or know any other schools that you want to get on board if you did it last year, please reach out to me so I can get you guys all information and just kind of get you prepared for what steps you need to take to do that in the spring, so you're not doing it all in the spring. And then our last one is going to be a local and state competition. So Special Olympics Montana, we're really looking at offering just more localized competition, how that can look like in regards to inclusive sports. So one thing that we are hoping to offer is going to be unified team track this spring at our Special Olympics state games, along with really working with our unified track teams at the high schools to offer unified events within their home track meets. So there's more competition before they get to the state meet for that unified 100-meter dash and unified 4x1 relay. So our hope is that we can give more competition to our athletes, to our partners, and not just one big thing that's a cumulative event. And just wanted to put out there too that in addition to unified track, we will continue to offer our unified sports events at our Special Olympics state games. And they include a handful of different sports ranging from basketball, bowling, snowshoeing, golf, soccer, swimming. These are just to name a few of them. So if you want to continue participating in other unified events within these sports, you definitely can. And they're on our unified events, or our sport page on our website as well. So that's really, I mean, we have a lot of fun opportunities, which include inclusive sports this year, that we just encourage our schools to kind of think outside the box maybe on what you currently are doing and maybe what you want to or what you could implement this year in regards to inclusive sports. And with that, I will let Megan take it away with our inclusive youth leadership.
Thanks, Mandy. So one thing we did forget to put on the slide was the Young Athletes Program. And Mandy can speak to that a little more at the end if you're interested. But we will still be facilitating the Young Athletes Program, and we have some new resources for schools. Many of you should have received a packet in the mail with some Young Athletes Program material. So if you like that material, if you want more, please let us know. Okay, so inclusive youth leadership. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term State YAC, it stands for the State Youth Activation Committee. And after today, applications will be open for students and mentors to apply for this year's State Youth Activation Committee. We are looking for students ages 14 through 21. So unfortunately for the younger students, this might not be an option, but it could be something to aspire to. So the State YAC is a group of students and mentors who work to promote Unified Champion School programming in their school, their community, and across the state. Some of our YAC members even serve as ambassadors at the national level. And interested students and mentors must be able to attend our annual kickoff conference in October, we think, monthly web calls. They need to help with various volunteer and presentation activities throughout the year and attend our year-end conference in June. So we're looking for teams composed of one athlete, one unified partner, and one teacher who is able to travel and support their youth leaders at all events. You can find the application on our website, and I'll show that to you at the end here. And applications are due September 30th, and final selections will be determined by October 11th. So another form of youth leadership is through your unified clubs. And if you're looking for a way to engage students in inclusive leadership opportunities, you really don't have to look much further than starting a unified club. As part of a unified club, students can organize your whole school engagement activities, they can participate as unified partners for inclusive sports, or they can engage in our new unified fitness activities, which makes for a really cool club activity. And clubs require teacher supervision, but we encourage you to let the students do all, if not most, if not all of the work. Another form of youth leadership that you can have at your school is through inclusive clubs. And this is, you ask yourself some questions like, do you have a student council? Do you have an MBI leadership team? And then are they inclusive? Meaning, do they have students with disabilities serving in some of the key roles? And if you don't have an inclusive club at your school already, the question is, why not? So we Special Olympics partners with the National Association of Student Councils to support student councils that would like to become inclusive. And at a state level, SOMT partners with MBI or MTSS out of the Office of Public Instruction to facilitate youth days. Unfortunately, that's currently under construction, but still coming. But Youth Days promotes inclusive leadership on MBI teams. So if you have more questions about inclusive youth leadership, I will direct you to contact Mandy for the time being. And then once there's someone in my role, that person will be in charge of the leadership opportunities. So our final core component is whole school engagement. And this is probably the easiest component for most schools, and we want to help you keep it fresh and exciting. So building on our campaign's first 10 years with Spread the Word, we are excited to share its new look. So instead of Spread the Word to End the Word, it's now just called Spread the Word. And more than ever, our opportunity is not only to tear down discrimination and stigma of the past, but also to build the inclusive future we all envision. Starting today, the Spread the Word campaign will call on everyone to make their pledge to take action for inclusion in their school, community, or workplace. Spread the Word will provide the platform to make these pledges, and resources empower local champions to make inclusion a reality. Inclusion campaigns can take place any time of year, but the actual promotion month is March, which is the same as Disabilities Awareness Month. There are new resources online through www.spreadtheword.global. Another great way to get your entire school involved is through unified assemblies or rallies. It could be something like a pep assembly for your Special Olympics team headed to state basketball, or a unified track competition. General assemblies can weave messages about inclusion, and student leaders from your unified club or your team can present or speak at those assemblies. For our Fans in the Stands program, we suggest organizing classrooms and groups of students to attend Special Olympics competitions, either locally or during a state competition, if one happens to be hosted in your community. You could even, but if they're not, you could host a unified event at your school and have the entire student body attend. Really, no one likes to compete and show off their skills to an empty stadium or empty set of bleachers. So help us recognize our hardworking student athletes by getting your school involved in Fans in the Stands. Last but not least, our Adopt a Team program is for schools and communities where state level competitions are being held. With this program, your school or classroom can adopt a team that will be attending that event for the duration that the event is held in a particular location. For example, if you're in Butte and looking for schools and classrooms, if you're in Butte, we are looking for schools and classrooms to adopt teams that are coming to state basketball for the next 3 years. As an adopter, your students will coordinate with the team to serve as fans in the stands during the competition, possibly invite them to your school to be honored and recognized, or create some kind of dialogue between your students and the athletes on that team. So if you want to sign up for Adopt a Team, you can visit our website. That will be open pretty soon. So one of our goals at SOMT is to help schools offer sustainable programming to students. And like most things, programs typically need money. That's why SOMT has a few turnkey fundraisers and grant opportunities for schools. The Cool Schools Polar Plunge is where students and teachers from your school raise funds to plunge in icy cold water to receive about 50% of the proceeds. The other 50% goes to the expenses related to hosting the plunge and to support our law enforcement torch run, which in turn supports SOMT. It is $50 for students to plunge and $100 for teachers and adults. All you need to do is register your team online, raise $50 or $100 by sending word out to friends and family, and then you can get your plunge on. So plunges begin at the end of November and run through February. And to find out more, you can visit the SOMT.org website and search for Polar Plunge. And there's also a great toolkit for schools to help you be successful. Next up is the NTN Chevy raffle. Kind of a mouthful, but we just call it the raffle sometimes. If you participate in the raffle, your school will receive $4 of every $5 ticket sold. And every year during state summer games, SOMT raffles off a new Chevy Silverado and a whole host of awesome prizes. And also on the back of every ticket is a free order of lodge poles from Mackenzie River. So that's a sweet bonus. And to participate, you can order tickets online by the end of this month and start selling when you receive your order in either November or December. For both the Polar Plunge and the raffle, proceeds go into a local area Special Olympics bank account, and it's specifically set up for your school. You can use these funds to purchase everything from uniforms to fuel, and if you don't use it this year, it will still be there next year for you to spend. So there's a little bit more flexibility with the funds from the Polar Plunge and the Chevy raffle. And as in years past, we will be offering mini grants to schools who apply this year. So check out the information regarding award limits for schools, and remember that we operate mini grants on a reimbursement basis. You apply for funds, we pre-approve you for a certain amount, then you submit your receipts and we send a check back to you. And applications for mini grants will be open in October. Finally, there's also school fundraisers. So you can get really creative and come up with some of your own fundraisers to support your inclusive programming. We only ask that if you use the Special Olympics name, you follow our fundraising guidelines. And for more information about fundraising guidelines, you just need to contact a UCS staff member. Now, Mandy's going to talk to us a little bit about the National Banner Program.
Thanks, Megan. So I'm not sure how many people have heard of the National Banner Program, but it's been a program for a couple of years now with Special Olympics. And we are really going to focus on this year with our state here in Montana because we currently do not have any National Banner programs. So what is a National Banner Program? So Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools, so you need to be a registered Unified Champion School and have an inclusive school climate and exudes a sense of collaboration, engagement, and respect for all members of the student body and staff. and a Unified Champion School receiving national banner recognition is one that has demonstrated commitment to inclusion by meeting 10 national standards of excellence. And these standards were developed by a national panel of leaders from Special Olympics and the education community. The primary activities within these standards include Special Olympics Unified Sports, so our students with and without intellectual disabilities train and compete as teammates. So number one, your school needs to have some type of unified sport component at your school to be able to apply to be a national banner school. The next one, inclusive youth leadership and whole school engagement. So banner unified champion schools should also be able to demonstrate they are self-sustainable or have a plan in place to sustain these activities in the future. Yeah, so this program is really awesome, and it's really like the elite unified champion schools in the state that you apply for this and you have these standards that you must meet. But if you are interested in being a national banner school, please reach out to us so we can go over those 10 criterias and make sure that your school, if you hit all 10 marks, or if there are some things that you need to work toward this year to be able to apply to be a national banner school in the spring, which leads to applications are typically open in April and awards are presented in August or September. And again, for more information, we have it on our website, but also please reach out to myself, and because I would love to start working with some of our schools to be able to have a handful apply this year. Our goal is a minimum of 2, and currently, as I mentioned, we do not have any national banner schools here in Montana, and it's something we really would like to change for next year, for this year, going into next year, having schools be part of this. And another cool bonus about it is that the name kind of says it, but your school will receive a really, really nice banner, Unified Champion School banner that you can put in your gymnasium, wherever that you want to put it on display. But it's a really nice quality Unified Champion School banner that has National Banner Program on there, which shows that you guys have met all of these 10 criteria of excellence at your school for inclusion and acceptance. So it's pretty awesome. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing some schools be interested in that this year.
Mandy, if I can add,
Mm-hmm.
I believe for high schools that apply for the National Banner Program and are accepted, they're added to a list that are then ESPN actually chooses 30 schools from that list to be considered for the ESPN National Banner Honor Roll. And it's kind of fun. They do a presentation on ESPN of those schools. They give you a little highlight. Your name goes out through ESPN channels, and it's pretty neat. But there's a little stiff competition there for that place. Okay.
So for getting started for year 12, we have some 4 fancy steps for you guys, right? So building your leadership team is going to be step 1. It involves determining who is on your leadership team. So this is a group of teachers, administrators, and students that are helping plan your activities for the year and support you along the way. Again, for more information, we have a lot of good tips on our website, and we have a new blog that we're running this year on our website, and that is the main topic of the blog is leadership team. So I'm sure Megan can show us that as we go through the website after this presentation is done. But that's step 1. Leadership team is super important to have success at your school. Step 2 is going to be completing your online pledge and application. So if you are returning Unified Champion School, you will complete the renewal pledge. If you are new, there is a little bit different application for new schools. But again, these forms are on our website. If for some reason you're having difficulty finding them, just reach out to us and we can send them to you. But all the forms are located there. Step 3 is going to be plan your activities for the year. So really thinking about what you're going to do this year, what you need to be successful, and some realistic goals for your school, and see how far you can go. So really the best way to succeed in Unified Champion School programming is having an idea about what you want to do this year, like where in the year are you wanting to achieve your goals, or respect rallies, doing unified track, or doing basketball, or whatever it may be, starting a club if you don't have one. Those are things that you'll be thinking about for planning for the year. And then the fourth step is going to be requesting resources and assistance from Special Olympics Montana staff. So once you know where you're headed, please contact us at Unified Champions School staff. We have lots of great resources for you, and we really want to be here to support and help you guys reach your goals. I know the hardest thing is you guys may be planning something and then it becomes that time. So let's say Unified Track, for example. If we find out you guys want to do that in the spring and maybe we're really behind on getting the paperwork or getting things finalized and what you need in to be able to participate, we would just love to be able to know what you're thinking about doing this year so we can keep you up to date on just information for you guys to be successful and be part of any and all programming that you're really wanting to do this year. And then not on here, but the best step is step 5 of celebrating your success. So we have a new thing we're going to try this year is sharing our stories with Special Olympics Montana, where we can put it on to our followers for all your successes. So that's our blog, that's our Facebook, our Twitter. There's actually going to be an option for a calendar on our website where you can say what you guys are doing at your school. So that can be a resource for other programs and teachers as well to see what other schools are doing. So yeah, we're looking forward to a really great year 12, and we have some really great resources for you guys coming up on the next slide we'll talk about. So we're really working on this webinar series of each month on the first Thursday. We will be having a variety of topics for our program implementation, ranging from unified sports, young athletes, inclusive youth leadership, really focusing on specific programming that we are going to do. And after this webinar, we will open up and meet you guys and just ask if there is better time that works for you than a 12 to 1 p.m. If an evening or a different time in the day, a morning or something like that. We really would like your input on this so we can have it be at a time that we can get the most educators on this call to be able to be part of these webinars. So that's for our webinars. And then you see we are looking at having a Unified Champions School Summit. A tentative date is going to be the weekend of October 26th. Kind of before everything gets too crazy in November, and then we get into Christmas and after and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be having it in Helena, Montana. And just remember that we have scholarships available through our mini grants. So this is part of our teachers' education that we are providing, that we are able to cover your costs in regards to travel, getting there, meals, that kind of stuff. So please kind of put that on your calendar tentative. If you have other contacts that you know are the liaisons at their school, to share that with them as well. But it will be just a great time for us to get together for networking, learning about the programs more in depth, having presenters come and just talk about things more specific, having people there. So yeah, we're looking forward to that, and just please be on the lookout for more information as that comes.
Thanks, Mandy. I realized that I didn't update this slide, but October 26th is a super tentative date for that event. With my departure, things are kind of shifting, so please really keep your eyes open for information about the summit and the date, but it will most likely happen in Helena. So we'll keep you posted. So we just want to thank you really quick for joining us. We hope the information was helpful. If you wouldn't mind, please complete the survey that immediately follows the webinar so that we can continue to improve. There is a section where you can insert comments. So if there is a better time or day for you to attend a webinar, please insert that into the comment section so that we can capture it. Until that happens, our next webinar will be held on Thursday, October 3rd from 12 to 1. and we will send out calendar invites 2 weeks prior to the webinar. If you have questions or concerns, please contact your UCS staff members. You can contact me until next Friday, and then after that you can contact Mandy until there's a new person serving in my capacity. So, and if you're willing and able, if you want to stay on for just a few more minutes, we'll show you around the Unified Champion Schools website. Okay. Hoping everyone can see my screen now. Let me make sure. There you go. Okay. So the quick and dirty run through of the Unified Champion Schools website. So there's a couple ways to get to this website. The easiest way is to go to the Special Olympics Montana website. So it's somt.org. It should load here in a second. And under programs, you'll see Unified Champion Schools. So you just click on Unified Champion Schools, and then you click on this button here, Unified Champion Schools website, and it will take you to this site. My suggestion, we weren't able to purchase the URL, like a unique URL, or to link it directly to our specialolympics.org page. So it has this sort of funny sites.google.com and then a bunch of blah, 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 blah. So the best suggestion I can give you is to put this in your favorites bar up here, or bookmark it so that you can easily, it looks like this one right here, so that you can easily find it in the future. So on this opening page, our home page, you can see, just ignore that, you can see that our social media links are here. So if there's something you want to share, if there's something on Instagram you want to post or share with us, just do @SO Montana. For Facebook, you can follow Special Olympics Montana. And there's also a YouTube page with lots of great videos for you. So under our Join the Movement tab, we have our program overview. And this just briefly goes over sort of why we're doing what we're doing. The school requirements goes over the 3 core components and then what you need to do to become a Unified Champion school. So that's, once you kind of know why and what you need to do, then for the 2019-2020 school year, for returning schools, this will be really easy for you. We again have a renewal pledge that we'd ask you to fill out. What this pledge really does is gives us updated contact information for your school so that year over year we can continue to reach out to the people who are running those programs at your school. For new schools, so if you know of anybody that's interested in doing this, there is a new school application here as well. And just remember, as you can see these super important notices, that you need to make these, you see this little arrow there, you need to make these bigger before you start filling them out. Otherwise, they will not save your information. So we'll also have a calendar of events. Right now, our calendar is blank. My apologies, but we will get that updated with the webinars and such. And then, as Mandy mentioned earlier, we have a blog called The Unified Champion, and our first blog post here is called Nothing About Us Without Us, and it's about creating a strong Unified Champion school leadership team. So if you want to know a little bit more about how to do that, just go here and click on that and you'll be all set. So funding opportunities is next. And as we mentioned in the webinar, there are these really great toolkits to help your school be successful. So you just go to the site, it gives you a best practices handbook, and then when you're ready to register or learn about the plunge that's nearest to you, you just click on this somt.org/plunge. A similar setup for the MTN Chevy raffle. Again, a nice best practices toolkit. When you're ready to order your tickets, you can go to somt.org/raffle and you can order your tickets there. For mini grants, we have an explanation of allowable expenses. And this just goes over this is very basic, sort of what mini grant funds can be used for and what they are not allowed to be used for. You can see some examples of non-allowable expenses down there at the bottom, but for the most part, we have those descriptions here in the middle. If you think you can use some money for some of those or you need some of those things, just go to our mini grant application. This will go over eligibility requirements, funding levels, and then again, when you're ready to apply, just click on this gray button so that it pops out and you can start your application process. Under our programs tab, we have information about inclusive sports, youth leadership, and whole school engagement. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I will just show you, for example, under inclusive sports, if you want to know more about unified PE, you click on that, and it'll give you some information about unified physical education. And we'll be updating some of the contact information here. Another great site will be for the interscholastic unified sports. This will be for that unified track meet co-hosted by Special Olympics Montana and the Montana High School Association. For youth leadership, you'll see information here about unified clubs, everything we went over today. And then if you're interested in the Youth Activation Committee, this will give you a little bit more information about starting you can have like a mini youth activation committee at your school if you'd like. But then there's also information about the SOMT State Youth Activation Committee. And the application for this year is right there. So again, first you need to have a student, like a unified partner, an athlete, and a teacher, and everyone would need to fill out this application. Last but not least, here under programs, we have whole school engagement. So I do want to show you the Spread the Word campaign page. It's pretty brief, but it does have some links to the new Spread the Word website. So please go ahead and take a look at that if you're planning to do respect rallies or a Spread the Word campaign in the next year. And again, we will have our Respect Rally store, which should be open by October 1st. So school resources, quickly, Mandy's done a great job of putting together resources for schools at the different grade levels. And she's also taken time to go through the playbooks and take out some great pieces of information that could be really useful for you instead of having to flip through the whole book. So if you have questions about this, let Mandy know, but it's pretty self-explanatory and super helpful. When you're ready to order your items, the online Respect Rally store will be here. It is not open, but it will be very soon. And we'll have similar items, but hopefully some new items for you to purchase with mini grant dollars as well. Almost finally, your training tools. This is where the monthly webinar recordings will be posted so that you can refer back to them if you'd like. We have some older webinars from 2017, but they're great. They give you lots of information about different components. And your online forms here, if you do receive grant funding and you purchase something under your pre-approved amount, then you would go here to submit your receipts. Again, clicking this gray box to make it a little bit bigger. Also, we'll have our reports. So we have a mid-year report and a final year report. They will be posted here as well. And then we will have forms for school of the month and for training and resource requests. So there'll be additional forms for those two things. So really that is our website in a nutshell. Hopefully it's got helpful information for you, a quick, easy go-to when you're looking for resources or information about how to get something started at your school. So that is what we have for today. Again, really appreciate you all coming out, or not coming out, but joining us for the webinar. And we hope that this information was helpful. Don't forget to fill out the survey at the end so that we can continue to improve. And that's it. We hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.